Spurge here, and in this video we're going to break down the new Shoei Neotec 3. So I am a user and a fan of the Neotec 2, and if you are a user and a fan of the Neotec 2 as well, then this is going to be a very similar helmet for you. Very light updates. Really what I think they were trying to do was they were trying to update the Shoei 2 to the Shoei 3 to meet ECE standards in Europe for the new ECE 2206. The new Shoei Neotec 3, much like the Neotec 2, is going to be a DOT-only helmet here in the United States. Would love to have seen them maybe switch that up and bring the ECE version in, potentially a little bit lighter than the helmet that we're getting here in the US. But alas, no real changes there. The one change to hit right up front is the price. The new Neotec 3 will be roughly $100 more. Inflation is catching up to everyone, including Shoei. So this is coming in around the $900 price point for solid colors starting. The shell has not changed. This is still going to be Shoei's AIM Plus. That stands for the Advanced Integrated Matrix Plus shell. It is layers of fiberglass with organic fiber and resin, all working to give you a shell that is safe. Keeping in mind, we should have hit this right up front. If you're not sure what the Neotec is, this is the modular helmet within Shoei's line. So you can use this to pop your chin bar up and take a drink or smoke while you're at the gas stop while you're on a motorcycle ride. And then when you're ready to ride again, you can go ahead and roll it down for that full face protection to keep that beautiful chin of yours safe. So that is really what the Neotec is within Shoei's line. And this, as the 3 implies, is the third iteration of it. 3 shell sizes, no changes there. Extra small to medium is 1 shell size, large gets its own shell size, and then large to 2XL gets a shell size. DOT only, like we said, 2 intake vents, 2 exhaust vents. The vents were slightly redesigned, which we'll talk about in a minute. 4 pounds, 1 ounce in a large, got 1 ounce heavier. So it did gain a little bit of weight. So we're now looking at a helmet that is over 4 pounds, which I think is moving in the wrong direction, Shoei, for a helmet that is being released in 2024. Intermediate oval head shape, a little bit longer front to back, a little bit narrowed on the side of the head. The head shape itself has not changed. If you are not sure what we're talking about with internal fitment shapes, head shapes, things like that, you can always check out our How to Size and Buy a Motorcycle Helmet guide. It walks you through exactly what you're looking for. But the good thing to note here is even if you've never worn a Shoei before, it's a pretty ubiquitous fit. It's going to work for a lot of people out there from a comfort standpoint. Now, further changes. The first thing you'll change is the first thing you'll see up front is that the vent has been redesigned at the front and the vent has been redesigned at the top to make it a little bit more streamlined, to really honestly improve the look a little bit. Pat McHugh used to always refer to this as a bass mouth, like he was fishing for a largemouth bass. But the vents have been redesigned, promote a little bit better airflow, and just streamline the design a little bit. The main thing you'll note with the face shield is it gets a new face shield. It's now a center closure, a little button to push and open. And that just kind of allows for a little bit of detents there to leave you with some ventilation. The important thing to note too is that the ventilation for the chin bar itself just vents up to the face shield. It's not direct air pushing into your face. It pushes up to the face shield, almost acting as like a defogger. So the face shield itself is a new face shield. It's a CNS3C shield. So the old face shield will not work on this. So if you've got a variety of different shields, you will have to replace them. Love the fact that you got a couple of different detents positions to use here. Really solid shield design. Pin lock included in the box. So it's pin lock ready. Pin lock included in the box to get on. And actually, I'm going to just close this for a second. So there is a drop-down sun visor. I'm just going to pull that drop-down sun visor out of the way. So to remove the shield, it's the same as the old one. You pull this tab down. You need to make sure the shield is in the upright position. You pull the tab down and it snaps out from the bottom. I find that this one is actually easier if you set it on the side, and because you kind of have to like push and pull to get the side out at the same time. So just a note there, is a little bit trickier to do on camera, but you basically pull this down, set it on its side, and you can pop that off. So the mechanism for getting the shield on and off hasn't changed. What you will notice that has changed is they've added this little piece in the back to help streamline the airflow. The outgoing version, I should have probably called this out a little bit clearer, but the Neotec 2 is what's sitting here. And if you look at the back of the Neotec 2, you can see this big hinge where there's kind of empty space behind it. They've refined that and they filled that space in with the Neotec 3. And that's really just going to help to streamline, cut down on wind noise, and make the helmet look a little bit smoother. You're really not going to notice too much different at the back other than a redefined spoiler. Now, it is going to be a new side pod for the new updated SPL3 system. The SPL3 comm system is still going to be powered by Sena. We're waiting for all the nitty-gritty specifics on it, but it's going to get the Harman Kardon speakers and all the premium features of the newest mesh unit from Sena, and we'll have a separate video on that once it becomes available. But if you're not familiar, the SPL3 system is an integrated comm system which mounts to the inside of the helmet underneath this pod here, and then the battery pack mounts out back. Really the idea being is you can cut down on wind noise. One of the biggest critiques with modular helmets in general is just wind noise, so what Shoei has done with the previous version, and they've carried over to this, is that they've integrated that comm system in there so that it does work to give you the audio experience you're looking for without any erroneous wind noise. Now let's take a look at the inside. So this is probably the most divisive piece of the helmet. It's something that I'm not a huge fan of, but once I got used to it on my Neotec 2, it really didn't bother me. But it is a ratchet system. It's not the double D-ring design. So this is something that people love or they hate. And I am one that prefers a double D-ring, but it becomes very easy to use once you get it all set up and you're used to it. So ratchet design with this. The cheek pads have been updated slightly, a little bit more comfortable than the previous version. Very easy in, very easy out. The snaps are very sophisticated, contours nicely to hold your head in place. Again, just light updates, all focused on comfort. You'll notice that with the cheek pads, the ratcheting system does go through the cheek pads, so when you're putting it in and out to clean it, you need to make sure that you're running the cheek or the strap through. Otherwise, you'll put your cheek pads back in place and you'll have to take them all back out again. So again, nothing really notable there other than just some light comfort updates. The other thing to note here too is that you'll see they do have pockets for the speaker cutouts. You can use a different comm system if you absolutely want to, but it's really designed to be used with the new SPL3. So if you're not using a comm system, you can just leave those in there, just little foam pads to hold the place and help to cut down on wind noise if you're not using the system. To the top here, you have a brow mount on the top, no undue snaps, no undue pressure points, 2 snaps at the back hidden behind the thick foam, no discomfort, no real main changes to speak of there. And then just great channels for airflow through the helmet all the way from the front to the back. So again, no real updates or no real groundbreaking changes, just light updates from what was the Neotec 2, a favorite amongst modular helmet users, to now the Neotec 3. If you want more information, you can always click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. You can read other rider reviews, folks that are out there using the new Neotec 3 and putting it through its paces. And as always, if you have more questions for our customer service reps as to which modular helmet is right for you and your riding style, you can always reach out to the team and they can help you walk through all the different helmets available to make sure you find the right helmet to match with your riding style as well as your budget. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Neotec 3. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.